All right, can you all hear the mic? Testing 1, 2. Mic 1, 2. Okay, good. We'll start in 1 minute. Just doing a little stuff in the background here. Who types fast? Oh, you think I type fast? I do a weird, crazy, not normal. I never knew how to type properly, unfortunately. My kids, I cannot believe the way they type like 100, I don't know what's fast, 130 words a minute. Both my kids are like, they could win typing contests. It's crazy. I've never seen people type like that. No, I type like a mental patient. I don't know if you're allowed to say that anymore, but that's the way that I type. Definitely like a mental patient. I don't think you can say that. They type like I type like a challenged person. How's that? I think that's better. All right. Welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus and the market open existing home sales as well. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director at 10 Minute Trades. Please remember all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. I'm not a financial advisor. It is possible to lose money trading futures. All right. Markets are at lows. Let's make sure of that. So we have our open, and I also have a gold setup for existing homes. All right, first things first, turn off everything we did previously. And okay, all right, let's get our charts. We have a YM 1225, and we've got MNQ 1225. And then after the open, we'll be going over to existing home sales. That's a 10 o'clock report. That is a trap trade on gold. That's a trap trade on gold. All right. So first things first, we have our YM open setup. We've left money on the table this week on the open. Let's just for fun. Let me see if I have the video to yesterday's open. We made a couple of bucks. Now, who traded the Swiss rate statement last night? Anybody trade the Swiss rate statement last night? Yeah, I will have MGC settings, Ross, for it. I will. The Swiss rate statement would have been the franc 6S 1225. And what time was that report? 2:30 or 3:30? I think it was 3:30. You should be able to tell by just looking at the chart. I think it was 3:30. So there's 2 o'clock. There it is. 3:30. Now, it was up. Wow, look at that. So if you were watching the Swiss franc, I bet that would have scared you. Now, what Langford is saying is that it was a little bit delayed on the entry, but it was the 1 minute chart. It was the 1 minute, the correct candle for a move. So you didn't have to wait more than a minute, but it can be tricky when the news doesn't trigger instantly, right? If the news doesn't trigger instantly, and I'm not going to do a replay right now. Langford, I don't know if you're out there. How long did it take before it triggered? Because normally on a bank statement, we get pretty fast triggering, like instant on most. Not all, but most. Australia can take its time occasionally on the RBA rate statement. Um, but Roz, what you're saying is it didn't trigger initially. Sandra, what do you mean no Swiss Open on Sim? What do you mean? No Swiss Open on Sim. I don't understand what you mean. Now, it did have a pretty solid move. Let's just do the first 3 minutes. It wasn't gigantic. 30 ticks, 3 minutes. Not that fast either. It looks like it was pretty slow. Looks like it was fairly slow. The chart's kind of spread apart. Not as big a move as I would have thought. Now I notice their rate is 0. Is that true? Their rate is 0? And they kept it the same. Now, Switzerland is a little bit unique. They have a history of being quote unquote neutral country. A lot of money laundering going on over there, possibly. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. Hold on. Langford always texts me something interesting. Now we have time, folks. The open's at 9:30, so don't panic. And I do want to thank anyone who's out there. Are you out there on YouTube? Say hello. Type in and say hello if you're watching us on YouTube. No one ever types hardly anything on YouTube. Hardly ever. So I sold my folding phone. I'm so unhappy with my phone. I don't have a phone that I like. I just can't find a phone that I love. Microsoft ruined my life with phones. What am I looking for, folks? What am I looking for? I forgot. I don't know. I was looking for something. But you know, you can't always get what you want. All right, let's go back to the YM. Let's look for the video. YM 1225. And we do have an MNQ open as well. Yesterday's open. Let me see if I have that video. Yesterday was the 24th. So the open yesterday, YM on the left, MNQ on the right. YM, MNQ filled pretty quick to the upside. If I remember correctly, it hit the first target and pulled back. I couldn't get my stop into safety. I kept trying. The YM took its time filling. It did fill to the long side, I think. Let's watch. Let's watch. MNQ pulled back, hit my stop, small profit, very small. YM, I just took a small profit and I kept going up. Up, 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 and away. So, and then of course, eventually you can get a change in direction. That's normal. Uh, what we're dealing with this morning, though, is markets at lows. A lot of downward pressure, right? A lot of downward pressure. I'm going with the breakout this morning. What I'd like to see is just a push down on the open. That's what I'd like to see. Just going with a normal setup, very normal setup. YM, right click the chart, click on strategies. Double click news trader. Going to load my template. Load, go to template, go to load. YM open all the way at the end. I've got a YM open dated 9/24. I'm going to right click it and change the date, rename it 9/25, load it, double click it. So our activate time is 9/29/59, 30 bracket, targets of 15, going to do 15 and 30, and break even minus 30. I want it out of the way. I want the stop out of the way. You know what? That almost doesn't make sense. Do 25. The stop is 35. Stop is 35. I'll label the trade YM open. All right. You could label it BRK also. You don't have to. We know the YM open today is a breakout. But, if you want it, if you want to remember, it'll show up that way. Right now it's on sim because we're going to put the time at 0 to check our bracket management. Apply it and OK it. So it goes into the control panel with the correct settings. I call that the control panel. I don't know what NinjaTrader calls that. Perfect brackets at the low. I'm thinking we're going to get filled to the low. No way to know if it'll keep going or if it'll do a gap fill, right? And there's no way to know for sure if we'll get filled to the low. 929.59, bracket of 30. Targets of 15 and 30. Stop of 35. Target one stop move, BE minus 25. Account, market open account, number 15. Apply, OK. Enable the trade. All right, number 15. Chart on 15. We're going to set up a second setup, reverse continuation. Right click the chart, click strategy, click news trader. Put that second strategy on the chart, turn it into reverse continue. Just trading one position, one contract. We'll do a 30 target. We'll do a 30 stop, 30 and 30 makes 30. And we'll put that in account number 15 also. And we'll label that YM reverse continue. I know what I was looking for before. But let's set up our MNQ before I deviate. MNQ, breakout. Right click strategies, news trader, load the template, go to template, load. MNQ open. I believe that's what I've called it. Dated 9/22. Let's update the date. Right click, rename. 9/25. 25. Load it. That also saves it. 929.59 on the activation. We've got a bracket of 30. Position 1, choose the number of contracts you want to trade. Position 2, choose the number of contracts you want to trade. 25 tick target, 50 tick target, 100 stop, BE minus 40. Target one stop move. That should be out of the way. That should be plenty out of the way. I love these kind of stories in the news. Philly real estate agent pleads guilty to defrauding investors and using money on gambling personal expenses. How often does that happen? Someone you trust. Oh my God, Ross. 929.59, bracket of 30. 25 and 50 on our targets, 100 stop, BE minus 40 on the target one stop move. It just gets it reduced if our first target gets hit, but it should be out of the way so that we could stay in the trade. Account number 15. Before we do 15, let's verify our bracket, leave things on sim, turn on our breakout. Don't forget to put the time at 0. If you don't put the time at 0, it won't trigger the bracket. Could be a little wider. Right click the chart, go to strategy, put the time back to 9/29/59, bracket of 30. Position 1 and 2, those are your contract sizes, number of contracts. Targets of 25 and 50, stop 100. And then also the target one stop move is up to you. You don't have to do what I do on your stop move. Some folks don't move their stop at all. Don't forget to choose the account you're trading on, apply it and OK it, and put your chart trader on that account. and then turn on your trade by clicking enabled, making sure that your time is correct before you enable it. Right click the chart. We're going to add another setup or discretionary entry after the open. Double click News Trader, change breakout to reverse continue. Couple of contracts, one position. We'll do one contract on a second position, and we'll do 30 ticks on the first target, 50 ticks on the second target, break even if it hits the first target, and the stop is 75. And that's a discretionary trade, right? It's a reverse continuation. MNQ label, reverse continue, and same account, number 15. That's where we do all these opens. Make sure you're on 15. Everything matches up. I wanted to look at earnings whispers. There's been very, very little earnings the past couple of weeks. Huh. Langford, do you think SNX moved the markets? All right, folks. So they had earnings at 8 o'clock. Hmm. The 1 minute, and were they early? That's the question. Okay. All right, we're watching the markets pull off the lows now. That does not necessarily make me think that we won't get a short entry, but it gives you room to move in both directions, right? So we're just watching. We have 10 minutes. Our setup for the trap on existing homes is going to be a gold trap with tiers of 15 and 25. So Roz was asking about an MGC on that. So I would do the same setup, Roz, and I would just do a stop of 30. Stop of 30. If you're still connected to the internet. All right, so we're just being patient, watching the markets. We have two setups. We've got a YM breakout. Some folks are trading the RTY as a range trade on the open. And that's been actually testing. I think it's been working pretty well for people. I'm not, I have not been liking the way the 1550 market close has been behaving lately. Calvin, have you been watching 1550 this past week? I'd probably use 30 on the stop, Roz. 30, 15 and 25. Existing homes. It's had some pretty good moves. And most of the time it does reverse. It's been a good reversal trade. 945. There must have been a report. Was that a flash day last month? I wonder. That looks like a big move. Obviously, that's an extremely big move. It looks like 945-ish. Yeah, it was. Sorry. Here's existing homes. So there's the trap. The first move did not fill. It popped up, didn't fill, pulled back. Now, if it goes back up in the same direction, you're allowed to let it fill. But if it would have gone down for a long fill, it should be canceled because that's the reversal. All right? Remember, it's a trap trade. So if the first move is up, but it doesn't fill, you don't want to let it fill on the other side. You want to cancel the trade because that would be your reversal. All right? Unless it's a trade that, because of the testing, we watch it reverse multiple times. That's different. And there are some like that. Tiers 15 and 25, I would use 15 and 25. I'm thinking 12 and 25. I want to get filled on it because it has been working. It doesn't give you a good average price if you get both tiers filled. 12 and 20 is better. But the report has been moving more as of late. We've increased the trap trade size. All right, let's go back. It does reverse. It took its sweet time, but it did reverse. And it reversed pretty darn good, too. All right, everybody good out there? I think I heard, I don't know if this is true. I heard some sort of report that Doge did not save one penny, and it actually cost money. I don't know if that's true, but that is insanity at the highest level of insanity. If it was a true report. And that's the problem today. Nobody knows what's true. And man, oh man, oh man, I've been looking at AI, and people are so ignorant, they're not going to be able to tell what's real They already can't tell what's real, even with science. It's things are only going to get worse. I think we should outlaw AI. It should be outlawed. And I think we should close down the internet and go back to horses and cowboy boots and cowboy hats. That's what I think we should do. We'd be a lot better off. Everyone can carry a six shooter. Go back to that. I think it would be great. Jay, go back to six shooters. Howdy, partner. All right, watching these markets. I'm definitely thinking it's making you think we're going to get filled on the short side, but look at that volatility. Right, Calvin. That's just describing modern day Texas. Calvin, do you know who Louis Rossman is? Do you know who Louis Rossman is? Does anyone out there know who Louis Rossman is? I know you're a hillbilly. I'll send you I'll show you the picture on Facebook that absolutely says I am a hillbilly. Um, Louis Rossman he started his internet career as an Apple repair video channel in New York City. Great channel. All he did was like videos of repairing Apple, MacBooks, anything Apple. A really good channel. And he had a repair store, still does actually, in New York City. But he's morphed into um, right to repair, and he's actually moved to Texas. I think he lives in Austin now, and works for a nonprofit. Still kept his store in New York, kept like half his employees. Anyway, the market's going to open. I'll talk about him going forward. He's very interesting. Finding injustice in the world is what he does. And he's crazy, completely insane. Trying to expand my MNQ. Again, I'm trying to get into safety. Going to the low. Okay, I want to be at the low. Break even. I'm break even. All right. I'll take that. All right. We'll take that on the MNQ. Look at that YM did not fill. I don't think I'm going to cancel if it fills short, I would let it. I don't want to be long in this market. I do not want to be long. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't want to be filled long. I'm a little bit concerned how close it is to the low. So I'm going to combine my orders for just a quick scalp if I can get it. Now, this is really going to tick me off if it doesn't work. Really going to tick me off because I wanted to cancel it. I really wanted to cancel it. That really, really ticks me off. I'm not happy with my YM trading at all. Uh, the stop S1 would not have worked. It would have got stopped. It was 12 ticks above. It was 12 ticks above. I definitely don't think the YM is going to push up. I really don't. I think we still get this test of the low. If I am totally wrong on this, it's only one contract. My stop is above the S1, the high of that candle. All right, it's above the high of that candle. Now the MNQ has been solid almost every day, almost every day, and I've been doing nothing but damaging my account with the YM. That's what's been going on with the YM. Now, maybe I have to go back to the range because this is not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. The market's definitely changed direction. It's definitely changed direction. It's really aggravating. Really aggravating. The MNQ has been nice and solid on these opens. Nice and solid on these opens. I'm getting rid of the YM breakout. And the YM, I mean, I still think it's going down. I still think it's going down, but I'm not willing to. I don't want to do any more damage to this account. We've worked so hard to build this account up. MNQ open. So I'm done on the MNQ and I'm done on the YM for now. Done on the YM for now. MNQ definitely looks like it's still heading down pretty strongly. And I really thought we would get agreement on direction with the YM also. Also, it was negative. It was strongly negative. It was strongly negative. I still think it's a short trade. I think it's going to test this low. Now, the stop, at least above the candle wick, the YM is not working well at all. I think next week going to change to the RTY because it's not working well. Honest. Just not getting the kind of follow through that the MNQ gives or the NQ. And I want to get ready for existing homes. Haven't forgotten about that. I think we'll stay in the stream for existing homes. I'll keep the stream open, everyone. The YM just not moving. It's just not moving. You don't have very much push to the downside. No push to the downside. It just won't give us anything today. It won't give us anything. And the MNQ keeps pushing. I do think at some point the YM is going to test that low. It's probably going to do it sooner rather than later. And then it'll do what it's going to do, you know? So I'm only looking for halfway to the low. I'm not even looking all the way. Can't even get like 20 ticks out of it. I'm trying to get 20 little ticks. But MNQ has been much stronger. Look at that. 1K. So at least we made $100 back. It's something. All right. It's something. And look, it didn't Still hasn't gone to test the low. Just for a minute, I'm going to put the YM in the middle just to watch. Gold now on the left, GC 1225. See if the YM tests that low. I still think it will. But it was impossible. Look how big your stop had to be. You know, if you got a fill, here comes the test. If you got a fill somewhere on that 930 candle, right? 30 ticks. Let's say very ballpark. This is very ballpark. So let's say your fill was, there's the test of the low. It tested it right there. Um, the YM reversed somewhere after you would have been filled at least 65 ticks. Now, in all seriousness, that's not that big of a stop for a market open trade, but it went further than that. It did go further because it went up to there. So it really went 100 ticks. That's a pretty big stop. That's a $500 stop, one contract. So that's a pretty big stop. Did I forget to record this? Yeah, I did. I didn't record it. Yeah, I'm surprised it froze, Roz. It wasn't that fast moving. Didn't seem that fast moving. Gold did the magnet at 855 right there. And it's doing it again. It tested the low right here. So I wouldn't do a magnet right now on the gold. Now on the YM, maybe the only way I'm going to be interested in doing a YM open is to do a magnet, a trade that tests the low. The problem at 930 is where you would have gotten filled. It still would have stopped you out. It would not have been a good magnet because if you got filled in this area, it went up 90 something ticks before it tested the low. So you'd have to do it after it failed at the VWAP. That gave you a sign, possibly, that you were going to get that low because it failed at the VWAP. Hang on 1 second, folks. 1 second. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Test 1 2 1. 121. Okay. Let's go to existing homes. We've got the water department doing some stuff out here. I just couldn't figure out what the noise was. All right, so we've got existing homes. No DMM on existing homes. It is a trap trade. It's been a solid report. And let me start the video. I thought that I was recording this, but I wasn't. I designed the page and then I just never turned it on. It happens. Welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus and the Market Open and existing home sales. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director at 10 Minute Trades. Please remember all the trades we discuss for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures. So what happens when I get up? It screws up the webcam. I'm trying to fix it for the internet, for our stream. I think I've got it overall tolerable. So now the market is selling off with a vengeance. I did not want to be long, but we got killed with that. That little reversal really just was market open volatility. You just get that. Now, the stop above the VWAP was big. It would have been over 100 tick stop. Now, if you trade an MYM, you can get away with that. That you can get away with. All right. Let's talk about what we're going to do for existing homes, and then we are going to stick around. Man, I can't get out of this trade room. My goodness. Never ends. And then we're here for natural gas, right? And then the 7-year note. It never ends. The 7-year note. All right, that's what we got going. Right click on the chart, click on strategy, double click trap trade. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1, one contract on each tier. 9, 59, 55 on the orders. Oh, there's no trade. They released the news early. Why? What the heck? They released the news. I've never, ever seen that happen. Existing, and this is why it's worth every penny. Now, they're checking to see if this is valid. Checking to see if this is valid news. 4 million on the home sales. Little bit negative on the home sales change, but basically a little better than expected. Now that's been a good report, and that could explain why gold started going pushed even further, because it was good news, more existing home sales than expected, and gold was already in a downward trend. It was not a gigantic move, right? And in fact, at 9:45, see, now we don't really know if this was on time at 9:45. There's no way to know, honestly, what we could do with this. It looks like it's early. It ruined, all we know, honestly, is it ruined the trade. It did ruin the trade. So, no trade. No trade. That's a disappointment. I still would have traded it. Now, would it have worked? Right now, gold's moving down. There was this 25 tick move up. If the news came out exactly at 9:45, right? This would have been our trade candle and we would have gotten filled short on the trap trade because it popped up 25 ticks, it looks like. And then it started dropping and we'd be making money on this drop. So it is possible it could have worked. It certainly looks like. I mean, that is the trade candle for a 9:45 trade. Okay? That's the trade candle on the 1 minute chart. That's assuming the news was exactly at 9:45. You know what I mean? We don't know that because nobody expected the news to be 15 minutes early. In all the years I've been doing this, I've never seen that happen with existing home sales. Now there's another Fed person talking. These people never shut up. They just never stop talking. And some of them I've never even heard of. Who is Schmidt? Schmid. Schmid. You got Williams, you got Schmid. I've heard of Bowman, right? He never stops talking. Goolsby, we've heard of them. They never stop. Well, they don't talk so much. So now we have to kill time before natural gas. Gold, already made the lows. So not sure you want to jump in. So I guess there's some sort of conference at Georgetown. I think Georgetown University. That's why these Fed people are talking. Some sort of conference. Is it a great question on the news feed that comes from I think it's coming from investing.com. No, Market Watch. I'm about to inherit a lot of money. How do I make sure my husband doesn't get any of it? Kill him? Shoot her. Shoot her. Who knows where that comes from? Shoot her. Nobody will know that. Well, look, folks, I want to thank everyone on YouTube. I'm going to close out our stream this morning. I want to thank you for watching. And on YouTube, that might be our last stream of the week. That's our last stream of the week. We do have that 2 p.m. webinar on DMMs. I put the link in the chat. You're welcome to come. We'd love if you do. Thanks for joining us on YouTube, and we'll see you the next time.